quick one. If you guys want to
Yeah.
see some proof, there's a 2.7K perf right now. Going there,
Yo,
2.7K.
let's go, baby. Live on call.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
shit. Awesome. Okay, let's go. Michael, it was good, bro. Um, for the viewers watching, this is Michael. Michael, introduce yourself. Who the fuck are you? What are you doing? We've been talking for a bit now. We're not going to pretend like
Yeah,
we're doing
yeah.
anything crazy, but yeah, bro, just introduce yourself.
Yeah, what's up, everyone? So my name's Michael. Started working with Christian, I'd say a good, like, what, 5 months ago? Pretty much like middle of the year, correct?
I think it was April, May, around there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I started working with him. I was honestly very lost, especially when it came to, marketing and overall just getting people to convert. Because at the end of the day, if you can't convert anyone, if you can't get anyone to sign up for anything, and get
Yeah.
leads actually interested, you can't convert them.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things I think you help me with, especially is like getting people actually interested, making sure the framework is correct, making sure people actually understand what you're selling, how special this thing you're selling. So I think that's the biggest thing you definitely help me with. But when we started working together, I was honestly lost on that side of things when it came to the marketing, especially like I had no clue what I was doing when it came to marketing.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, you did a bit of a spiel there.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
nah, bro, I think yeah, just to give people context, Michael and I kind of met through WAP, a group chat that we were added on, and yeah, we were just kind of chatting. And Michael is obviously, the purpose of this channel is talking about partnering up with people, helping them sell their digital products, their, info products, info offers, things like that. And Michael was trying to kind of get it off the ground, but it was just, I guess a bit hard at that beginning. But yeah, bro, tell the people how much have you made? I guess I don't know, like how much money did you make last month? What have you been doing? What's been the best client that you've ever gotten? Like just kind of share, a bit about your experience in going from where you were to
mhm,
what you've been able to do in the digital product space, because it's honestly been pretty sick to see. So yeah.
yeah. So I think when we started out, I think like to date, I had made probably like $5,000 from info products as like a whole.
Yeah.
I've run other businesses in the past, but they were small numbers, like 2 or 3K per business. Um, and like when I started working with Christian, I'd probably done, as I said, like probably around $5,000 as a whole. And this was like, 8 months of work to just make $5,000. So I was really like struggling, I won't lie. Um,
You
and
don't
when we
gotta
started
say
working
you
together,
don't gotta say that you're working with Christian. Like it's just you and me talking. I'm just gonna post this somewhere.
mm,
People are gonna watch it. Don't worry.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Um, but yeah, I think obviously started working together when I'd only made 5K. He taught me about how to actually get people involved, how to actually hype people up, make sure people actually understand what you're selling, and overall just make sure people, buy the product. Because as I said, if no one knows what you're talking about, if no one's actually interested in what you're doing, no one's gonna buy. And I think that was one of the biggest things I was struggling with. Um, but since then, now last month I did $8,000. I'm currently doing a launch with a client, and we're on track to do around $45,000 with that launch specifically.
Crazy.
So, we've done $15,000 so far, and we've still got another 20 sales calls booked in. So I definitely think we're gonna crush and hit that 45K goal.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. That asked when you told me that today. I was pretty like impressed. Cause yeah, talk to people, right? Like, or yeah, tell me. Cause it's not like you're partnering up with crazy influencers. It's not like you're partnering up with freaking Kim Kardashian and helping her launch like something. Like you're partnering up with, niche experts with a small
Yeah.
audience, but like cult-like audience, and you're just doing these crazy launches. Like, how many followers does the guy that you're working on have right now? And you've made how
I'll
much so
actually give
far?
you Yeah, so we've collected 15K so far. He's literally got 6,000 followers on Instagram. He's
Let's
done
go.
a total of like probably $5,000 in info product sales previous to this, which is like low ticket and that side of things. And he's only got 6K followers. So,
No
I
YouTube?
mean, 45K is pretty crazy. No YouTube, nothing like that. He's only got Instagram. He's got like 5 YouTube videos up, but they've got like 50 views, so it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter.
That's crazy, bro. So what's like the process? What does it look like? So now I guess, you understand the industry, you know kind of like the skills, I guess. You know how to launch somebody, you know like how to do all this stuff, but what's the process? Like walk me through, you're a beginner or like, when you were starting out, I guess, let's maybe backtrack a bit. We can talk about this client that you're going to make 40K with this month. And how much percent are you taking, by the way?
30%.
So from that 40K, 30%. So let's say you already did 15K, you said.
Yeah, so we've already done 15K, but we've only had
So you've made
five sales calls.
$4,000 and there's 5 days into October.
Yeah.
Bro, that's nuts. That's awesome, man. But yeah, walk
Yeah.
people through like what the process looks like. Just what do you do on a daily basis? What like people I think that are watching this don't know exactly what it is that maybe you do or that I kind of like helped you get into. But what do you do? Like how like who are you helping? What are you helping them with? And yeah, just what's just the process? How do you find a client? Like just walk me through
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I think to put it in a nutshell, I'm helping people with audiences, mostly in the make money online niche because that's the most profitable. And I'm helping them sell a course is the easiest way to put it. Sell a mentorship, whatever, word you want to put on it. That's what I'm helping them do. I'm helping them scale. I'm helping them build them out. Uh, you know, everything to do with it, from the marketing to building out the funnels. Sometimes we manage sales teams. So pretty much doing everything on that side of things to
For viewers who don't
effectively
know,
make money.
what's a sales team? Like what does that include? Because I think a lot of people get like too cluttered with like the info bro language.
Yeah.
Just like tell people what exactly that kind of is.
Yeah. So for example, a sales team is anyone who is going to be converting a lead. So for example, a closer or a setter, okay,
Okay.
or even a dialer at that. So those are kind of the three main roles. And what a setter does is pretty much just message someone to see if they're qualified and try and get them booked in on a call. What a dialer is doing is phoning people and pretty much doing the same thing a set is doing. Instead, they're just on the phone. Okay.
Mm.
And then obviously the closer is the person who's actually hopping on a sales call with that specific lead and trying to close them, because it is high ticket at the end of the day. We always have to have a sales call because no one's really going to spend anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 on a mentorship without knowing what they're actually getting into.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, this is another thing as well. Like a lot of people, they think about digital products and they think like a PDF or like an ebook. That's like a
Yeah.
$27 thing. Like when we started working, like what are you actually helping people sell? Because you mentioned that you're working with,
Yeah.
people with an audience, people with an expertise. And I've talked about that on the channel. But what are you helping them sell and why are you helping them sell that specific thing? Instead of
Yeah.
like a
So
PDF and
most
like an ebook, because,
Yeah. So you would
people
kind
don't
of
know.
consider PDFs and that side of things as sort of a low ticket. So generally, low ticket is not as optimal as running some sort of high ticket program. And that's mostly what we try and sell because, as I said, it's the most profitable to sell. You'd rather sell 10 people on a $10,000 product than, 1,000 people on $100 product. It's way
Hmm.
easier to sell those 10 people than it is to sell the 1,000 people. So that's what we're doing. And pretty much what it kind of includes is this two main forms. First of all, you've got your one-on-one mentorship. That would be the person who actually buys the program is actually hopping on one-on-one calls with that creator and that coach. They're
Yeah.
going through things. Maybe it's a trading offer. That's the actual offer we're running right now that might do
Okay.
45K.
So you're
And then, for
helping
example,
somebody, sorry to pause you. So you're helping somebody who's just an expert at trading with
yeah,
6,000 followers. You're helping them take their expertise in trading into just like a one-on-one mentorship
yeah,
offer, and you're charging like 3,000 plus to do that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We actually upped the price to 5K because we realized all those leads had way more money than we expected. So we're upping the price. That's why we'll possibly do 45K.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, the one-on-one mentorship kind of just includes one-on-one calls. They can message them 24/7, that type of
Mhm.
thing. That's the first option. Second option would be some sort of group coaching method where instead of hopping on one-on-one calls with someone, you're going to be hopping on group calls with the coach. So everyone as a
Gotcha.
group hops on the one call. They can ask their questions. The coach can go through some sort of specific format where they're going to be teaching a new thing, whatever it may be, it's all done through group calls. And then secondly, you'll have a course inside of there where they can learn 90% of what they need to learn for that specific business or whatever they're doing or whatever they're teaching. Most of it's learned in the course, but obviously there's nuances to everything. So they ask most of those nuances on calls and whenever they
Oh,
honestly need
cool.
help. So yeah,
That's sick, bro. Yeah, I think ultimately, and that's why we're kind of doing this, right? Because ultimately we're helping people just create a real impact rather than like a PDF or like an ebook that's really not going to do much work. Um, and not only that, like if you get like so far you've made 5 sales, right?
yeah,
People
yeah,
typically have this like misconception that a cheaper product is going to be easier to sell. But a lot of the times, and I don't know if this has been your experience, like you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like the higher ticket you sell something, the easier the sell is because it's perceived as more valuable, right? And I think like a
yeah,
lot of beginners have this like um, belief that they can't do it. But I want you to talk about this one client that you were selling a product that was, I think 9K,
yeah.
and you ended
So
up
it was
doing
9K
like
if they
how
paid in
much
full.
how
Yeah.
much did you like what did it
So
look like? Let's like talk about what it's like getting a client because I think a lot of people are lost with getting that client. Um, how was it getting that first client? Was it hard? And I don't know, like just what, like I don't know, just talk about
yeah.
that experience.
So getting that specific client, it was a lot of like brute force of just doing outreach every single day, reaching out to as many people as possible. And I'd had a few clients before that, and they really weren't people who could do more than $5,000 a month, or they were on the low side, so I wasn't able to make more money with them.
Hmm,
And eventually I reached out to this specific person, and obviously I signed them,
nice.
and they were a really good client. We ended up doing 1 month $80,000, another month $70,000. So we crushed with them. We really, really did.
And you're taking a
So yeah,
percent of everything.
yeah. So I took percent of everything of what we made there.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome, bro. Now, obviously, people are listening to you, crushing it. You made $8,000 profit last month. That's something that people don't talk about. People say, like, oh, I made 10K with my agency, but then you have to pay this employee, you have to pay out like a business partner, you have to pay all these things out. Like, you're taking $8,000 into your pocket and you're living alone now, right?
Yeah,
By
yeah.
the
I
way,
just
tell
moved
people how
out.
old you are because I don't think people
Yeah.
heard
So
that.
I just turned 19 last month.
Crazy. Oh, did you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 19 last month.
I didn't say happy birthday, bro. Sorry. When was it? Well,
7th
that's
of September.
okay. No, I'll remember that for next year. But yeah, so you're fucking 19. You're like you have the skills. Like, talk to me about because obviously when we met, you had a set of skills. Now let's talk about kind of
Yeah,
when things started to click. Because I remember when we started working, you had like obviously I just heard you say like you were doing outreach, sending a bunch of messages. I remember that you'd sent like you were sending a few like 20 to 30 a day, and you were getting a few responses. You were getting a few people to ask for a loom. By the way, for people who don't know what a loom is, it's just like a video pitch that you send. It's like a specific pitch that you make to one individual, right? Like it's not like an evergreen VSL video that you make for a bunch of people. So you were sending looms, and I think you told me you had signed one client that you had made like 10,000 with, or kind of in that range. Then there were a few people that kind of didn't like they said yes, but then nothing really like happened. What
yeah.
what was that moment that things started to click? Like when did you start to feel like, okay, I'm getting the momentum, like I have this skill set, people are taking me seriously now. Like because the
Mm.
guy that you're working with, I think you told me before this, like he was because we called briefly. You told me that he's like an older guy, like he's established, right? So like
Yeah.
just walk me through when that moment of like things just started to click and you're like, okay, I'm getting it. Like my skill set is proper and I know how to launch things because like I want you to talk about that, but then I wanted to talk about like the whole launch situation because I think that that's the underrated skill that people don't understand. Like your main thing, like the way that you've made $4,500 within the first 5 days of October is just launching this guy's offer. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But
And I
yeah,
signed him a week ago. Last week, Thursday. No, no, no. 2 weeks ago, Thursday. So it's been
okay.
like not even 2 weeks since I've signed him.
So 2 weeks, and it's just like we're gonna do a mentorship, and I'm gonna help you launch it. 2 weeks launch,
Yeah,
crazy.
done.
So yeah, so so
Yeah.
so, so talk about like when did things start to click for you, and when was that moment, like that pivot?
I think the biggest thing for me was, especially when I started working with you, because you are on such a like different level to me. Like obviously my expectations, my kind of standard of what work should be like, and overall just my quality of work and how I did things wasn't great. And when I started working with you, you kind of showed me the proper way to do things. Like obviously I understood the fundamentals of doing everything,
Yeah,
but I think a lot of money is made in these small little like shifts in how you think. You know, the small little shifts of how you write this specific email or how you build the funnel out. Like those little things do play such a big part. And that's when I obviously started working with you. Like my mindset just changed.
yeah,
And you showed me like these little things that I need to be doing that would ultimately help me make way more money. Like for example, I don't think I would have made half the amount of money, with that specific client we worked together, or you helped me work with. I wouldn't have made even close to that money, if I didn't work with you because I didn't know really what I was doing. It was like, I knew what I was doing, but I didn't really know
yeah.
overall what I was doing. Like the fundamentals were there, but as I said, the nuances is what actually makes you the money.
100%. Yeah, and I remember when we got started, it was like, okay, you understand that you need to write an email. For people who don't know,
Yeah,
like you need to write emails to these people's audiences or, Instagram story sequences, or you're essentially helping them with their content to just kind of sell more, right? And convince the viewers that what you have to offer is valuable. And yeah, I think in my opinion, right, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one of the main things was kind of like implementing that launch protocol or that launch process
yeah,
of how to launch a client, what are the main things, personality, like the personality warm up, warming people up towards the content creator who's launching this mentorship. What's his method? What's his method of doing things? Why is that the best method? The expertise, why is he the expert? And, like I think those three things combined, just kind of help um, to get the deals across the line, right? And I think uh, doing it with info products is a lot better than with digital products because we've already talked about how it's a lot more scalable because it's just
yeah.
higher ticket stuff. You don't need to sell 1,000 people a $10 ebook to make money. Like you can help somebody sell a $9,000 product. And again, I want to preface this. You didn't start by selling a $9,000 thing. How
No.
did you get started? Like, what was your first thing?
Originally, I was also sold on the fact of like, low ticket products, digital products, like these small things where you have to sign a bunch of people to make any money.
Mhm.
And slowly I started to realize that most people can't make that amount of money or a good amount of money with these low ticket products because it's a very small percentage of people, in my personal opinion, who can make a good amount of money with a low ticket product. And I still think those people would make more money if they just sold
Exactly.
high tickets. So yeah,
And that's one of the things that I think number one of the things that we've done, like you've done on your own, I've done on my own, and just one of the best, I guess, strategies when somebody has like a small, like a low ticket offer, like a low ticket product, a $20 ebook, and maybe they've sold a lot of it, or maybe they have a low ticket community. Like the best thing is sometimes to pitch them, hey, I see that you don't have a high ticket thing. We can create this funnel, like this ascension funnel, and these are like the businessy words. I'm going to try to stay away from those. But yeah, it is just one of the best ways to help somebody monetize their audience, right? So yeah, I completely agree. But yeah, I think like when working together, what was one of those things that you would tell somebody else like this was the thing that kind of helped me because I do remember, right? Like, and I'm a very honest person. I would be very harsh with you. We, we
yeah,
we've had our conversations, we've had our calls,
yeah,
and that's been the cool thing about it. It's like generally off understanding that we're recording something. Like one of the things that I enjoyed most with you was like you were so coachable. When I like, excuse my language, when I shit on you, you
yeah,
weren't a bitch about it. You were like, thank you. You appreciated it and you actually made the changes, which I saw. Like I genuinely did see it. And now that I like, obviously you've gotten super busy with work, I have as well. Like on a real note, like I'm super happy that you've been able to sign clients on a more consistent basis. You're doing some really cool stuff that we haven't even talked about on here. So I think a big thing for people watching is like the coachability aspect is so huge that I saw in you, and I want to congratulate you on having that mindset and that kind of like character because not a lot of people have it. But yeah,
Yeah.
what was the I don't know like the thing that best served you when working with me and um, like in mentorship.
I think the biggest thing, as you said, first, well, there's a few things I can list off the top of my head is first of all, being accountable. Like you hold me super accountable. I remember, for example, the one thing was there were like the funnel I made or the website I made didn't really look that good. And you were like, this looks shit. Like, like you're not putting that much effort in. And I knew I wasn't putting effort into it, and you just told me like, this looks absolutely shit. And I was like, okay, fuck, I need to create a new one. I created a way better looking one. Like I had the skills to do it. I just didn't put the effort in. That's the first thing. Second thing is like making me realize the quality of work I was putting out wasn't the greatest. For example, the emails. I could be doing a way better job with the emails. It was kind of just sign up here or
Yeah,
like a very basic email. And you told me like you need to be doing these extra steps to actually convert people.
yeah,
Um, and I think the third thing was just overall the launch process that you walked me through was like, first of all, it was super easy to understand. That's the first thing. Second thing, it actually works. I mean, I've used that with multiple clients right now, and I'm still using it to this day where as I said, we used it with this client who's gonna make 45K this month, and I'm gonna make what, 15 or 13K from that for myself. So
let's
I
go.
think yeah, that was probably the biggest thing is just like
Yeah.
the launch process as a whole. It works so well. I've seen it time and time again. I think I've used it for literally like 5 or 6 people now, and they've all done over $20,000 with that
That's
specific,
sick.
launch sequence. So yeah,
That's awesome, bro. Yeah, and ultimately, I think, like I said, like, here's me singing your praises, right? But I think, like, for people watching, like, that's the number one thing that I think has you on a good trajectory to hit, like, you're going to be hitting 20K months, I know, in like no time, right? Like,
yeah, yeah,
um, and I know for a fact, because of like the stats that you shared with me, like the payment links, like just like the dashboard, everything, I know that you're going to hit that 13K just because of like the close rates and everything. Uh,
yeah.
and if you
Close rates
sign
at 100%
somebody
right
else,
now.
maybe you sign somebody else. It's October 5th. You can sign somebody
Yeah,
else in like a few weeks. And now like that's another thing. Like now you understand how to do outreach as well. Talk about that, like
yeah,
getting a client. Because when we were starting, you were getting a lot of clients that kind of flake on you. But
yeah,
then we kind of started to use my process, which when we were working, it signed like 3 clients in a week.
yeah,
But like you've now been able, and obviously we talk like on a weekly basis. Like you're booking calls. People are interested. And it only takes like 1 to 2 clients to do decent. And you don't
yeah,
even mention, like, I think you told me you don't even mention that you've done this for other person. You just kind of like talk about your expertise because you've learned the skills and now and
yeah,
like people on here probably see you as well. Like, oh my God, this guy knows his stuff. Like they're talking in the same language. How can I get to where Michael is? Right. But yeah, talk to me about like outreach and getting clients and how it's been easier since we started, or if it's been easier, because I don't know if it's like
yeah.
if you've noticed a difference at all.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things for me, especially with outreach, is first of all, you help me optimize my profile. So that's the biggest thing. Is like you can send a good message, you can have a good hook with your message, you can provide as much value as you want. But if you don't have a good looking profile, if people can't, establish you as someone who knows what they're actually talking about before they respond, you're never going to get anywhere. And that's what I think I was stuck in the cycle of is like I had a really crappy profile. I had one picture on it, uh, and like I wasn't getting good response rate. Like yes, people were responding and asking for the videos, but no one would actually hop on a call because they didn't think I could actually help them because there was no testimonials, there was no proof of that what I'm saying I can actually do.
Yeah.
That's the first thing, helping me optimize my profile, but also just like conversating with someone. I was very, I would say, desperate when it came to trying to sign clients. I was very like, oh, you need to hop on this call, or I was pushing for the close or talking about things in the wrong manner that
Mm.
ultimately just give the person a wrong vibe about you.
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, just make you look desperate, which pushes them away. Okay.
100%.
I think one of the things you specifically told me was like, you never try and sell them in the DMs. You always try and push them to a call because anyone can just stop replying to you, but they can't just hop off a call, you know?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Like I specifically remember I was
Yo,
messaging the one guy and you were like, don't try and sell him in the DMs because I was trying to sell him in the DMs.
yeah.
And you were like, just push for the call, push for the call. That didn't end up working out because I was obviously, trying to sell him in the DMs.
Yeah,
But the
you used
next
to get
person I
pissed.
messaged,
Like when
yeah,
somebody was like
yeah,
resistant, you used to get like super pissed. And I would see it in the
yeah,
messages. I'm like, bro, the messages is just to like consult the person and be like, hey, I see that you're doing this. You should do this instead. And by
yeah,
telling them that, you're proving your expertise and you're kind of just providing value up front. But to do that, you had to learn skills, right? Like you had to
yeah.
learn skills. You had to learn the skills of being a launch specialist. You needed to learn the skills of understanding what the info product industry is all about, like VSLs, funnels, systems, all these things.
Yeah.
Um, but
I think
yeah,
also the biggest thing with that was the confidence that it came with. Like I'd done launches before, I'd made a bit of money, but once I'd done that first launch that did, $30,000, and then the next one did $80,000, it just
mm,
gave me such confidence when I was speaking. It was like, okay, if I don't sign with you, if I don't start working with you, like that's okay, I'll move
yeah,
on and I'll find someone else. That was the biggest
definitely.
thing for me as well, is like I'm not desperate anymore to work with anyone because I know I can work with most people in the space. It's not like I'm desperate to work with anyone or, I'm trying to close as many people as possible. I'm really taking on people who I actually think can make
Yeah,
money, not just anyone now. So yeah,
yeah. And that's sick because ultimately that means you have a skill that as long as you can find a client, which now you know how to, like you can make money whenever you want to, right? Like you can
yeah.
find somebody, text them. It's like, hey, I saw your stuff. I think you could do this instead, or I think you could do it this way. Here's this video. Watch it. Let me know what you think. You can hop on a call with them, close them. 2 weeks later, you're making 45K with the client and you're going to take 30%. And that eventually is going to
I think,
grow.
yeah.
Like it's
And
a
yeah,
replicatable skill.
yeah, 100%. And another thing I forgot to mention with that specific client, once we hit 30K, I'm going to get an extra 3K bonus. So that's pretty sweet
Oh
as well.
shit.
So
Nice.
it could be like a $18,000 month or something to that effect.
Damn, bro's
So
flexing on bro's flexing on me. But that's nuts, man. Yeah, that's pretty cool, bro. But anyways, I want to wrap this up. Kind of like want to talk about what are you looking towards? What's your biggest goals right now? Obviously we've talked about your results, we've talked about your skill set. Um, but like what do you want like within the next, I don't know, 6 months? Where do you see yourself getting for 2026? Fuck, it's October.
so
Crazy.
yeah, it's crazy how quick the year's gone.
Yeah.
I think by the end of the year, I want to hit definitely a 20K month. That's my biggest goal. Because I mean, hitting a 10K month, that's cool, but you're still in that place of like, okay, I still need to make more to actually survive. Like, I think once I get to that 20K, I can actually start like maybe enjoying a life a little bit, and also like maybe start hiring out team members and doing that actual thing. Like instead of just freelancing, I would call it right now. I would actually be running an agency and being able to hire people. So that's the first goal. But for 2026, I definitely at least want to get to 100K a month because I think I'm in a position right now like where I've got the momentum. I know what I'm doing eventually. And I just think 100K a month is pretty easy. But also I want to hit a $500,000 month with a client specifically.
Oh gosh.
So I can hit like a 500K month with the client. That would be
Bro,
crazy as
people
well.
people are listening to that being like, bro, that's nuts. But ultimately
Yeah.
that's what we see in like this industry day to day. And once you get like, for people watching, like Michael's not like delusional. Like I know that he can hit it, not because like, oh, I have faith in him, but it's like he has the skill set to do it. And it's
Yeah.
all about finding that one client. Like I say this all the time, like one client can change your life. Like you can have
Yeah.
like you specifically, you can have like 3 clients and hit
Yeah.
that goal. Because you know
Yeah.
the skills. It's just about finding that client that can, instead of making 45K on the launch, maybe they can make 200K. And just like
Yeah.
when you're stacking those wins, then like I know for a fact that you see 100K like clearly for like within the next 12 months. And I think for sure, like 20K, you're going to definitely hit that. 100K, I think for sure as well, at some point. So yeah, bro. I think it's pretty sick to, to see that you're on that trajectory. Um, but yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna end it on that note. But anyways, oh, I wanted to ask you, because obviously people that are gonna be watching this, we so I'm launching the Discord. If you're watching this, the Discord is probably live in the description or wherever I'm posting this. And if it's not, just DM me for it. But also, we're like a bunch of people asked me for like mentorships, or we're launching a cohort. Would you be down to hop on like coaching calls? Because people now are like, okay, I want to learn as well from Michael. Like, I want to get some insights. Would you be down to hop on, do like a live session and help people out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to hop on a live call, chat to a few of you guys,
Well,
and ultimately just help you. Because also with like the info product business, there's a lot of scammers out there, but ultimately I like actually helping people. Like I don't work with people who can't actually get their students results or actually help people make money. And that's the biggest thing. Like if you want to stand out, just run an ethical business and try and actually help people because it's eventually
well,
going to bite you in the ass. So if I have the chance to help someone out in here, I'd love to.
awesome, bro. Any last words for people looking at the channel, looking into the mentorship? Any last words before I ship you
I think the
off?
biggest thing is just like be confident and think big. That's the biggest thing. Like I never thought I'd be in a position right now where I'd be
Motivational.
making possibly 15 to 20K a month this month. I didn't think I would make 8K last month. Like I thought, 5K was the limit or 3K was the limit. Like I was comfortable with that. So I was making good money. But ultimately, you always want to push yourself to the new levels. And I think also the biggest thing for me is like it's the person you become when you reach those goals. Like I'm a completely different person now because of the money I'm making, but I've changed as a person because, I've adapted my skills, I've, improved in different aspects of life. And that's ultimately the reason I've gotten to where I am today. So yeah,
That's
think
fire,
big.
bro. 100%. Would you recommend anybody join the mentorship? Do you
Yeah,
think it was valuable
100%.
for
I
them?
think this was honestly like a game changer with working with you was
Appreciate
like
it, bro.
complete game changer. Like I think if I didn't take that step and get that first bit of like, okay, this is what I actually need to be doing. Cool, I've got the idea, but this is what I actually need to be doing. I don't think I would be where I'm at today.
Awesome, bro. Appreciate that. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this chat with Michael. He's a G. So yeah, see you on the next one. Subscribe, like, comment any questions that you have for Michael, for me.
Oh,
We'll probably talk
quick
about
one,
it on the Discord. Yeah, we had a fucking long chat. I thought it was gonna be shorter.
quick one. If you guys want to
Yeah.
see some proof, there's a 2.7K perf right now.
Wait, what? What is it? I
2.7K.
don't see
Let me open my
notification.
phone. Yeah,
Yo,
2.7K.
let's go, baby. Live on call.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
shit. Awesome. Good stuff, bro. Appreciate you. Hop on next time. Ciao, ciao.